Welcome back, McFly subscribers. Today we're going to be tying the Matuka fly, a classic style small streamer that is lightweight and easy to cast. Now, I'm going to discuss this fly in more detail later in the video, as I'm sure you want to get started tying right away, but in case you haven't seen this channel before, this is McFly Angler.
Starts now.
Okay, let's start tying now. Place a hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using Risen Streamer 200 in size 12. Now you want a hook with fairly long shank, and these are perfect with a 4x long shank. Okay, you also want some weight, and this is 0.015 size lead wire. Now you could also use lead-free wire as well, but this size wire will work perfectly. And I like putting this in a bobbin holder for easy application. Let's make some wraps of this lead onto the bare hook. Today I'm making 10 wraps, but make as much or as little as you want. Push the lead wraps together and have them slightly forward on the hook shank. We will also need some thread, and today I'm using Viva's 6/0 in black. Start the thread ahead of the lead wraps, and then use the tag end to help jump over the lead. Then snip or snap off the waste thread. Start making many wraps behind and in front of the lead to smooth out the transition from the hook shank to the lead. Now try to get this as smooth as possible. Okay, when the lead bump is smoothed out, then bring your thread back to the hook bend. And actually, you want it slightly ahead of the bend, like so. Now we need some wire, and the small-sized ultra wire will work great, and I'm using gold today. Pull off 3 turns of wire, which should tie 2 to 3 of these flies, and then tie the wire in so it extends up about to the lead wrap bump. This will help with that lead wrap transition. Wrap up past the wire to help keep that transition as smooth as possible. And then come back down to the wire. Now we need some type of body wrap, and today I'm using red Unifloss, so pull off a few turns of this and clip it off the spool. And this amount should tie you a couple of these flies. You can use any type of body wrap you want though. Examples include this holographic braid. Chenille can also work. Just make sure you get the micro one, or your body will be a little too thick, I think. Flashabou also can work for a really nice flashy look, and you'll want to use the saltwater one, as it's much easier to apply. You could even use a higher denier flat thread, like this Vivas 240, which you can see is very similar to floss. One interesting material that gives a great look is this straggle legs, and I'm going to actually show you a fly tied with this stuff at the end of the video. But whatever body material you choose, let's tie this in the back where the wire starts, and leave a long tag end to help with smoothing out that body. Then bring your thread up to about a hook eye length shy of the hook eye. Okay, let's start wrapping this floss onto the hook. When using the floss, it's a good idea to stroke out the floss to flatten it. Try to make the wraps as smooth as possible up the hook shank, covering the entire body with your body wrap. When you reach the thread, then capture the floss and trim off the waste. Now we need some feathers. Today I'm using this wet fly hackle from Whiting, which is a really great option. The webby feathers make the process a bit easier. Now for this size fly, the large feathers at the base are just too big. Also the tips are generally more pointy, and I want something a bit rounded, like these feathers here. When selecting a tail feather, make sure the feather is straight, and you can see how this one has a slight curve to it. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Let's see if we can find another similar size feather with a tip that looks the same. Okay, here we go. These two will work. Let's align the tips of the 2 feathers and then strip off the fuzzies from the base of the feather. Now let's turn one feather around so the curve of the feathers are towards each other, like so. This will be our tail. For me, this feather is the perfect length, as it sticks out the back of the hook, about a full hook shank length. Now you could get a slightly longer or shorter feather if you wish, but this is perfect for my use today. By the way, you might notice the body wrap is missing. I actually started to prep the feather, forgetting to add the wrap at first. We want about a 2 hook eye length gap from the hook eye. We will also need to strip off some of the fibers on the underside. So pinch the feather where the hook bend will start and strip off the fiber on the underside like so. Then measure it against the hook and strip off more if you need. Keep measuring and adjusting until you see that the fiber at the back will not impede with the hook bend. Okay, that's about right. Now place this feather on top of the hook and tie down the stems up by the hook eye with that 2 eye gap. Make 2 wraps to hold it and then give it a look to make sure it's not canted too much to one side. When you're happy with it, then make a couple more tight wraps to lock it down tight. Okay, now grab the wire and bring it up to see where it will pass over the feather, then pull back the fiber on the feather at that spot to expose just the stems. And then wrap the wire over the feather at that spot. This first wrap is actually the trickiest, as it will determine how the tail looks. If it's not wrapped over perfectly, the tail will kick off to one side or the other. Okay, we will want to measure out the next spot for the wire to cross, and then use a bodkin to separate the fiber, then wrap the wire over that spot, and continue up the hook shank, making open spiral wraps with the wire to create a rib and to hold down the feather. Once you reach the head past the feather fibers, then wrap the wire once more and capture with your thread. Make a couple wraps over the wire and in front before helicoptering the wire off. Now you can trim off the feather stems. Now you can see how using a feather that is webby helps to marry these fibers back together, creating a perfect wing on top. Okay, let's smooth out the head a bit and cover up the wire and feather stems. Now we need one more feather. Choose about the same size, and it's actually okay if this one has a broken tip, like this. Now on this feather, the fuzzy fiber is a lighter color. Now I want to use some of this. I'm going to pull off a pinch of this, and then tie it in on the underside of the head like so. And this will create a beard on the fly. It'll act like lighter color gills. Now you could also use a red color feather to create red gills as well. Of course, trim off any waste and clean up the head. Now let's prepare this same feather to create a collar on the fly. Strip off any fuzzy fiber, and then grasp the tip and stroke down the remaining fibers like so. This will give you a nice tie-in tag. Tie the feather in right up against the wing and trim off the tag end. Make sure you smooth out this head, as it will help with wrapping the feather on. End your thread right behind the hook eye. Now start wrapping this feather, pulling back the fibers with each wrap. Make sure each wrap is up against the previous, as we want a fairly dense collar on this fly. Once you use up all the fiber, capture the feather stem and trim off the waste. Then we will pull all the fibers back and out of the way. Then start wrapping up onto the fiber to cover up the stem and to help flare out the fibers a bit. Let's clean up the head and cover that stem tag there with a few wraps down and back up before whip finishing the fly. Now if you whip finish back to front, you will create a smoother and stronger whip finish. Okay, now let's cement the head. And for that, I really like this Solarez Ultra Thin. It has a handy paintbrush in the cat for easy application. And I really think this stuff is perfect for this fly. When you cure it with your UV light, it will harden up the head and keep the whip finish together. But it will also gloss up the head, and I think it really improves the look of this fly. What do you all think? Okay, well there we go. The Matuka is now finished. Now I'm going to be honest, I messed up a bit on that body. It's not as smooth as I would have liked. Here is one that I did a bit better on the body. Also, I used a feather that was slightly narrower, which I think looks a little better, but of course it's up to you. Use whatever feathers you want. If you want them thicker like this, by all means choose a thicker feather. Now earlier I told you to get a feather that is a bit webbier, and I do feel that helps. However, you can make some really nice flies with stiffer fiber feathers like this. The feather tip is more rounded also, which gives a wider looking tail. And I use that straggle legs body wrap, which looks really interesting in my opinion. In case you want to know what feathers I used, this is from a Brahma hen, and I use this American hackle in hot pink for the beard. Here's another stiff fiber hackle, where I used flashabou for the body. I really like the modeling on this feather, which I think creates a super elegant looking streamer. The feathers I used for this fly are the Coq de Leon feathers. Now, these are super wispy, so I actually had to use 2 on each side, which did make this a bit more difficult. But let me know in the comment section what you all think of this version. Okay, here's another one with webby feathers. However, I changed up the collar feather to a darker color to give it a different look. These are the feathers I used for this fly. Of course, the lighter one on the right for the tail, and the darker one on the left for the collar. You can get creative with these flies, making them from a wide range of feathers. Now, you don't need expensive whiting hackle either. A simple soft hackle patch like this will work just fine. Here's another inexpensive hackle, and this one has pointy tips. And you could go this route if you want a longer tail on these. This India rooster saddle could also work, however the feathers are quite long and very pointed, so the fly will look quite different. But give whatever feathers you want a try. You might end up with a winner for your area. For my uses though, I find the slightly rounded tip and shorter tail streamer tends to work best. These Matuka flies are actually not too difficult to tie. Of course, once you get the hang of splitting the feather fibers with that wire. Granted, there is a bit of a learning curve to this technique, but I think it's worth learning. The fact that the streamer is made entirely with feathers means that it's super light. It boasts a large side profile in the water without bulky materials. This means it's easy to cast and actually sinks quite well. The limited materials used on this fly also make it fairly simple and inexpensive inexpensive. You can pick up a soft hackle patch for just a few dollars, and it will tie you enough of these to fill a box and more. The Flashabou, thick thread, floss, or whatever bottom material you decide to use is also usually not too expensive. And using Risen's hooks means that you're getting super high quality hooks at an amazing price. So you could fill up a box with these small streamers for under $15 in materials if you find the right feather patches. So let me know what you all think of this classic streamer pattern down in the description section, and if it's something you plan on trying. Okay, well, I'm finished with this month's small streamer series, and I have filled up the small streamer box. To start off this series, I tied the very simple rabbit leech. Next, I did the very popular woolly bugger. Last week I tied up the slump buster for you, which is actually one of my favorite small streamers ever. And I finished off this series with this week's Matuka. All of these flies are fairly easy and simple to tie, and all are fish catching machines. Of course, today's fly is probably the most difficult of the series, but I think with a little practice, anyone can tie these up fairly quickly and easily. Now next month, I plan on starting a new series of panfish flies, starting with one of my favorites, the bully bluegill. This thing has caught me more sunfish than any other fly. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future videos like this bully bluegill. By the way, I do sell these silicone-backed waterproof fly boxes with free shipping on Amazon. They have enough room to not compress even these streamer materials, yet are thin enough to fit in most shirt pockets. Or take multiple with you in a chest pack, organizing your boxes by fly type, like this small streamer box. The silicone back is self-healing as well, so even if you do miss the pre-made slots to hold your flies and poke the silicone, it won't get all beat up like those foam back boxes. I will link to my Amazon storefront below in the description section of this video if you're interested. Also, don't forget to check out my sponsor Risen Fly. They made the hooks I use today, but they also make some of the best fly rods and reels for the money I have ever used. Best off, they're offering you all a discount. So if you're in the market for a new rod or a bunch of hooks or beads, go to www.risenfly.com and type in McFly at checkout, and they'll give you 15% off of your first order with them. Okay, well, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please do me a favor and click the like button. Also, please share my videos with all your fishing friends. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.